Hey guys, Zaman
And Christina
from Our Rich Journey. It is the end of September 2020, and it is time for us to take you back into our stock portfolio to show you the performance of our portfolio. If you have been keeping up with this series, you know that Christina and I invested $5,000 into the stock market in March of 2020 when the stock market was crashing. And every month after that, we have invested another $1,200 into this stock portfolio, and we shared with you those results. We do this to show you how everyday investors invest in the stock market. But we don't just show you the performance of our portfolio, we also answer your questions about investing. And this month we have a great question because we are going to show you how you can diversify your portfolio without index funds.
So if you're new to our channel is all about making money, saving money, and investing money on the road to financial independence. Aman and I reached financial independence after 8 years. We quit our jobs as federal government employees and we retired here in Portugal. Now, when it comes to investing, we talk a lot about investing on this channel, and we also talk a lot about index funds. It's our #1 way to reach financial independence and to diversify our portfolio. But there are other ways to diversify your portfolio, and we want to talk about 5 of these other ways that you can use to diversify your portfolio and help to minimize the risk associated with your portfolio.
So just to be clear, diversification can help to minimize the risk of investing in the stock market. It does not completely eliminate risk. There's always a level of risk when it comes to investing.
So we're going to go over our 5 ways that you can diversify your portfolio. And then after that, we're going to go into this specific portfolio of index funds, and we're going to show you how this portfolio has been performing.
Now, like Christina mentioned, the majority of our investments are in index funds. In fact, index funds helped us become millionaires. So if you're interested in how we invest in index funds, check out some of our other videos on this channel. But let's get to other ways that you can diversify your portfolio.
So the first thing that you can do to diversify your portfolio is to focus on negative correlations. This means as one investment tends to go up, the other investment tends to go down. This diversifies your risk, and a lot of people associate negative correlations with stock and bond investing. By picking an allocation where you include stocks in your investments and bonds in your investments, because they typically tend to have a negative correlation.
Now, Christina said something that is very important, and it's about allocation. We've talked about your allocation plans in different videos, but just keep this in mind. When you are investing in a mix between stocks and bonds, it's important that you set an allocation for each type of investment. What percent do you want to invest in stocks and what percent do you want to invest in bonds? And a lot of this allocation comes down to your time frame and your risk tolerance.
The next way to diversify your portfolio is to focus on different sectors. And ETFs are a great way to focus on sectors with your investments. ETFs have sector investments that relate to healthcare, that relate to energy, technology, different infrastructure. These are ways that you can diversify your portfolio and also still have a broad investment in a specific category.
Now, I love this approach, investing in different sectors of the economy through ETFs. Now, they have ETFs that focus on the technology sector or the consumer staples or healthcare. But if you have information and insight and you feel knowledgeable about a particular sector, you can invest confidently in that entire sector. And that is a great way to have diversification. Just make sure that you don't put all your eggs in one basket and you're only investing in one sector of the economy or in one sector ETF. Like, for example, if you're totally invested in VGT, the technology ETF, but you don't have any other sectors that you're investing in, all your eggs would be in that one technology basket. And that is a recipe for disaster when that sector goes down. Now, Christina talked about correlation. Sectors are also correlated to one another. So when one sector of the economy is doing well, sometimes another sector may not be doing as well.
Another way to diversify your portfolio is to invest in individual stocks, but to spread out those investments so that you're investing in different types of individual stocks, like small, mid, and large cap stocks. Now, one thing to keep in mind is when you're investing in individual stocks, you're not allowing for an extreme amount of diversity because those stocks can be a lot of money to invest in a single company. So you have to keep that in mind. if you're going to invest in individual stocks, we recommend that you have a very small percentage allocated to investing in individual stocks.
Now, one safe way to approach investing in individual stocks is to invest in all large cap companies, but the largest company in a particular sector. These companies are usually well established and have a good track record, and some even pay dividends. But that's just one approach. Just remember, when you start to invest in individual stocks, you're taking on a lot more risk. And if you are new to investing and volatility scares you, this may not be the approach for you, because you can see your individual stocks go up and down significantly, a lot more than investing in an ETF or an index fund.
And that's why we really stress, if you are interested in investing in individual stocks, you have just a small percentage or a small allocation of your investment that goes towards individual stocks. Another way to diversify your portfolio is to go outside of the US market. Look internationally and make international investments in international companies and international markets.
Now, you can do this in a number of ways, but one of the easiest ways to do it is to invest in international ETFs. And they have a number of different ETFs that focus on different types of international companies. One of our favorites is VYMI. It is a Vanguard ETF that focuses in high-yielding international companies that pay a nice dividend. So that is a different way to invest internationally. And the last way to diversify your portfolio is to invest with different objectives. Now, we have a number of portfolios, and in each portfolio, we have set up different types of objectives in those portfolios.
That's right. So you may have an objective where you want to create a portfolio that gives you income, or maybe you want a safe portfolio, or maybe you want a portfolio that is gaining in capital gains. These are all different objectives. And if you spread out your investments to meet different objectives, you can diversify your portfolio that way.
Now, we really like this approach, but we like to establish it with different portfolios. If you have a 401k, a Roth IRA, or an individual brokerage account, maybe you have different objectives for each account. If you're planning on retiring early and you need income, maybe your brokerage account is the account where you actually make that the income producing portfolio. It's really up to you, and it always goes back to your long-term goals. So like Christina said, establish portfolios that have different objectives is a great way to diversify your investments.
So those are 5 different ways to diversify your portfolio and to help minimize the risk associated with investing in the stock market. Maybe all 5 work for you, maybe a couple work for you, but you should definitely look into these different ways, and of course, add on potentially investing in index funds as another way to help minimize your risk. Now, speaking of index funds, let's get into the performance of this portfolio because it is entirely invested in index funds.
Now, this month has been a wild month in the stock market. In fact, September saw the longest losing streak for the S&P 500 since February of this year. So how did our portfolio fare? Well, let's get into it and see the results.
So let's start off with the first stock, which is Fidelity Zero Total Market Index Fund, FZROX. On September 15th, we invested $720 and bought 59.801 shares at $12.04 each. We now own a total of 747.086 shares at an average price of $9.81 per share. Our total amount invested is $7,330.19. The current value as of September 25th is $8,733.43, making this a total gain of $1,403.25 or 19.14%. Next is Fidelity Zero International Fund, FZILX. On September 15th, we invested $240 and bought 23.645 shares at $10.15 each. We now own a total of 284.679 shares at an average price of $8.57 per share. Our total amount invested is $2,439.98. The current value as of September 25th is $2,778.46, making this a total gain of $338.49 or 13.87%. And our last index fund is Fidelity Real Estate Index Fund, FSRNX. On September 15th, we invested $240 and bought 17.404 shares at $13.79 each. We also received a dividend payout of $20.75, which we reinvested back into this index fund. We now own a total of 200.945 shares at an average price of $12.29 per share. Our total amount invested is $2,469.70. The current value as of September 25th is $2,592.19, making this a total gain of $122.49 or 4.96%. Overall, our portfolio as of September 25th is valued at $14,104.08. That's up $1,864.20 or 15.23%. So that's it. That is our portfolio's performance for the month of September 2020. Every month we'll be continuing to give you updates on this portfolio. We'll be putting more money into these index funds and we'll be answering more investment questions. So if you like this series, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and
Join the journey.